Hi, I'm Andre. I'm a co-founder in Catch a Deal. Being a Technesia subscriber feels like as if you're going back to a community. It actually will expose them to the industry standards, get to know more people, and then get out there more. Yeah, I encourage them to subscribe into Technesia.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining Technesia and Lazada for Rethinking Retail. Transform and future-proof businesses with live streaming. We have an action-packed agenda with some incredible guests today. But before we begin, my name is Andrew Baisley. I run Technesia Studios, the multimedia arm of Technesia. We create content and events just like this one to help connect and inform the Technesia audience. A few housekeeping items up front. Please feel free to chat and connect with other attendees using the chat function. We'll be leaving plenty of time today for Q&A, so if you have any questions, please put those into the question tab, and you can do that anytime. You don't have to wait till the end. You can vote on other people's questions, so make sure you check that out. First up, I'm really happy to introduce Neil Trinidad, Country Chief Marketing Officer at Lazada Philippines. Neil has over 16 years of experience in marketing and sales across FMCG and tech at companies like Unilever and Google. He's also an entrepreneur, and he co-founded the e-commerce health food delivery business, Ketos of Manila, and the Sugar-Free Bakery. Neil will spend the next 5 minutes setting the stage for us on how live streaming is redefining the e-commerce shopping experience before we call on stage and introduce our other panelists. First up, we have Marlann Flores. Marlann is an actress, an active content creator, a beauty queen, a TV host. She's hosted shows like Encantadia Sessions and Day Off on GMA7, one of the largest TV networks in the Philippines. And she's been a regular Laz Live presenter since 2016. Marlann is also one of the mentors for Laz Live Talent, Laz Get Famous reality show on Laz Live, where she guided 15 Laz talents on their 6-week journey to become one of the newest live streaming stars of Lazada. Thank you, Marlann. And our next panelist that I'll introduce is June Nutchar, the founder of Keeps. June is an entrepreneur and one of Lazada's Laz in-style fashion sellers. Together with her sister, she started her own clothing line, Keeps, as a side business, while working full-time as a management consultant. Keeps is known for its modern, smart, and confident cut of women's workwear. In less than 2 years, June grew Keeps to a sustainable full-time business and has empowered women through fashion, grown her own brand awareness and sales revenue by selling in Lazada. Thank you, June and Marlann, for being here. Let's just. Yeah, it's so great to have you both. We'll bring Neil in as well when he's back online. But let's just start with the beginning of this fascinating story. Marlann, you're really one of the pioneers of live streaming in the Philippines. There's Neil. Welcome, Neil.
Hi. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's, you know what? Honestly, this is part of the fun of live streaming, right? Like things don't always go totally smooth. I'm sure, Marlann, you've experienced moments like these. As I was saying, one of the pioneers of live streaming in the Philippines. What was that like for you? Like, how did you get started?
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so honored to be here with you guys. I started my career as an actress here in the Philippines, actually, at the age of 16. I did that for almost 7 years before I started live streaming. My hosting career started actually when I started live streaming. And now I'm a professional host here in the Philippines. I was, as you said, one of the pioneers of live streaming in the Philippines when I started around 4 years ago. I've been with Lazada since 2018 and I couldn't be happier. Thank you, Lazada, for having me. At first, it was a bit difficult, to be honest, because I didn't have any idea how it worked. But on the other hand, I am glad I did anyway because I ended up enjoying it so much. I initially started live streaming because I believe at that time that at some point this would be huge in the Philippines, and I'm right. and I wanted to be, to have the opportunity to be one of the first ones to do it. And now I'm here with y'all, so I'm so grateful.
What can you just shed a little bit of light on the process for us? Like as the pioneer and the first, one of the first people doing this, what was that learning process like for you?
You know what? At that time, it was hit or miss because I don't know anyone that does live streaming. I don't have like, oh, I should go to this person and copy them or something like that. I don't know anyone that does live streaming in the Philippines since we're the first ones to do it. It's like an experiment where you learn as you go. As an actress, I'm used to having scripts and different characters that I portray. In live streaming, we didn't have scripts. So guys, it's fun. We didn't have scripts and no cuts, no takes. We just talk about certain topics and engage with the viewers through reading the comment section. But I ended up liking it because first, I love to talk. I talk so much. I don't need to portray a different character. And I also love to talk to different types of people. I also love engaging with the viewers and learning more on how they think or what they like.
That's awesome. Well, I love hearing you talk as the character of yourself. That's really special for all of us. So thank you. I want to get to Neil's presentation now that he's back on, but let's first go to June. And just I introduce you, June. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to just quickly talk about your background a little bit on starting this business. It has a really important mission of empowering women. Can you just briefly tell us your story?
Yeah, so first, thank you for having me here. It's super an honor to be here. So about the brand story, right? So back to my final year at college, where I was I had to find the formal outfit for the first time of my life for a business case competition, right? So at that time, I really had no idea what to wear. So I went to ask my mother, like, hey mom, I had to find super formal outfit to wear. So do you have any recommendation? And she was like, hey June, just go with the norms, like the dress code of the workwear, right? So it's flannel white shirt and the knee-length pencil black skirt. So as I'm a good girl, I follow her instruction. So I went to purchase one and wore it. And I remember feeling super uncomfortable during that day that after graduation, I'm not going to wear this for sure, right? So how can I become a consultant when I'm still not feel confident about my outfit? So that's basically the beginning of Keeps, that I want to change the idea. I want to change the deep-rooted idea of traditional workwear to be something more stylish, something that people wear and still confident and still like bring the best of them like at every day at work. Because I think it plays such an important role to empowering yourself at work, and every woman should feel confident about themselves. Yeah, so that's why I created the brand.
That's amazing. And I love hearing stories of entrepreneurs, especially doing something that's driven by such passion and mission.
Yeah.
And it's so disruptive for traditional businesses as well. But now you're disrupting retail as well. I mean, you're live streaming. When did you first learn about live streaming?
My first exposure to live was, I think, a year ago at Lazada last Insta offline market. So that market is where I went to sell the clothes, so customer can come and try before buying a product, right? So in the middle of event, there was a live stream session conducted by MC, and I went to watch one, and she did an excellent job. Like she can talk about 1 hour, like, and people still watching her, and she was like very entertaining. And I told my sister that, hey, I wanted Keep to try it as well, right? But our product has so many details that I think no other MC would remember everything. Like this shirt, right? I want to explain that is the layers that need to be done one by one. Is 3 hours long to make it and everything. So we decided to do ourselves. And at first I thought that we wouldn't be able to talk for 1 hour, right? It's too long for us. But at the end, we ended up exceed the time limit. It was so fun interacting with the people, answer the question and everything. So it was quite a fun experience, and we still continue doing it. Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that's a really good example too, because I think it would be hard to understand the detail of something like your sleeve on a product information page in photos. It just, that wouldn't come across. Really, really interesting. Okay, I do want to talk about use cases and how these have impacted your business, June and Marlon. But now that we have Neil back, I want to go back to Neil. If it's hopefully the event organizers are okay with me switching up Neil's presentation on, give him an opportunity to talk about a few of the topics he was going to talk about, and then we'll all come back.
So first of all, thanks, Andrew. And I think we live in a time of great disruption, and adaptability is key. So thanks for hanging on. So really at this time, I wanted to talk a little bit about how live streaming is transforming and future-proofing businesses. And I wanted just to start off by sharing, we've seen massive shifts in consumer behavior during this period. And actually even before COVID-19, e-commerce has just been accelerating. If you look at sort of a projection done by Google, they say that the e-commerce economy in Southeast Asia is going to grow to around 150 billion by 2025. But note, this doesn't yet include sort of the rapid sort of acceleration that you've experienced because of COVID-19. On the Lazada platform, we now have around over 70 million annual active consumers, and it just keeps growing. The amount of brands that we have on the platform has, grown 9x in the last 2 years, and we have over 80,000 brands now on LazMall. And actually, interestingly, because of the COVID period, where we see more and more small and medium enterprises shifting their businesses to e-commerce, we've onboarded more than 2x the number of sellers every day since the start of COVID-19 in Southeast Asia. If there's one aspect of e-commerce that is really sort of accelerating, it's really live streaming. And because of live streaming, we've seen an increase in viewership, an increase in engagement, and ultimately an increase in sales. So we have over 74 million live stream views, with over 6x growing year on year in terms of the number of new Laz Live accounts. Laz Live is also growing 30% month on month in terms of the number of daily Laz Live sessions. And as a result of all of this activity, with more live stream sessions and more live streamers, we've seen that there's a total gross merchandise value of over 17x generated through Laz Live, growing year on year. So live stream is really sort of, driving the growth of shoppertainment in Southeast Asia. It's connecting sellers, consumers, and communities. So I'll take a pause because some of you might be asking, what is live stream in the first place? So, live stream takes this concept of see now, buy now. So whatever you're watching on the live stream, you can add it to cart, you can collect the voucher, you can engage with a host, you can even play some interactive games. So it's really become a very, very engaging way for sellers and brands to sort of introduce their products to the audience. In China, in fact, we've seen that live stream is now the new mainstream. And in 2018, Taobao had around 4,000 live streams, and they pushed around $15 billion worth of goods sold through all of these live streams. I also wanted to give an example of a successful live streamer in China. One of the top, live streamers who sells makeup is not a woman, but actually a man. He goes by the name Lipstick Brother. He used to be a cosmetic counter salesman, and he has a knack for being able to sell, and he adapted into sort of live streaming early, and he now tests 300 lipsticks in 7-hour-long live streams, and he sells 100,000 lipsticks per live stream session. And this is the type of acceleration we're now seeing in Southeast Asia. China paints us a picture of the future of what live stream can be. And soon, actually, in Southeast Asia, we're starting to see a lot of this activity going towards this direction. So live stream really helps brands and sellers like June engage with shoppers. So this is an example of a brand live stream wherein the brand or the seller can let shoppers discover their products, engage. They can collect vouchers and get exclusive deals. Yeah, so it's a great way for sellers and brands to introduce their products to an audience that wants to engage. Live stream has also been a right platform to drive innovation and interactive entertainment. And 2 examples, one thing that we've done is to gamify live stream. So we have a show called Guess It. So it's a combination of live stream plus a game show where you have to guess the price to win the prize. And when you participate, you can win wallet vouchers, which again, you can use on Lazada. During this COVID-19 period, we saw as more and more people were staying at home, we saw it an opportunity to engage them through a celebrity sing-along called Sing It. And now, viewers can sing along to their favorite celebrities and interact with them, and it generates around 50 to 80,000 views in the Philippines per episode. And of course, with any sort of new entertainment ecosystem, we need to drive both content as well as incubate talent. So during the COVID-19 period, with more people at home, we diversified the content and we created Quarant TV. So it's a combination of live stream plus lifestyle content. And Marlann was one of our stars who would do helpful, entertaining sort of live streams of DIY or workout or cooking from home. And the other thing I wanted to share is Last Talent. So it's really, really critical. And what we've been doing is incubating talent. So we had Last Talent, Last Get Famous, where we asked, it was an open audition. We invited anyone who wanted to be the next live stream star to audition. We trimmed it down to 60 contestants who were trained over an 8-week period with the likes of coaches like Marlann. And they were taught how to create content. They were given tips on how to do a live stream. And then we streamlined that to 5 winners who now have a 1-year contract, who are now faces of live stream that brands can also tap. And it's really, really important that we drive sort of grassroots talent search and live streamer incubation to really grow this ecosystem. And the last example I wanted to share is something very close to my heart, wherein, you know, platforms like Lazada that reach millions of people during this COVID-19 period saw it as an opportunity for us to become a platform for good. So across all of the Lazada countries, we launched Lazada for Good, where you can donate on the platform to you know, frontliners or the less fortunate. And how we merged this with live stream was we did a series of charity fundraiser concerts where artists could you know, appear on the show. You're watching a concert, and at the same time you're making a donation to help NGOs and frontliners. And in the Philippines alone, we raised around 1 million Singapore dollars for around 25 NGO partners. So in summary, we're really seeing that live stream is an exciting space. It's growing in Southeast Asia. And the power of live stream is 3 things. It's about empowering brands and sellers to engage with shoppers. It's creating a new entertainment ecosystem and incubating talent. And it's connecting communities and enabling donations. So that's the power of live stream as an overview. And we're very excited to talk more about this and answer your questions later on.
Thank you, Neil. Awesome. I'm glad that we were able to do that despite the technical difficulties earlier. And it's really fascinating. I think, especially given everything that's going on in the world today, and you touched on that. I mean, it's obvious before there was any pandemic or talk of COVID-19, the retailers of the world are shifting into an e-commerce model. How do you see COVID-19 kind of accelerating that trend? And does live streaming play any particular role in that?
Yeah, so you know, e-commerce is only going to accelerate. I mean, we're sitting in the biggest behavior change experiment the world has ever known, right? And we've seen in the Philippines alone that, you know, goods that you normally wouldn't expect to see on an e-commerce platform like groceries have been growing by 15x, and live stream, you know, viewership has also been growing by 3x. So it's only going to accelerate as new habits and behaviors are formed, and that's why live stream is so exciting, because as more and more people come to platforms like Lazada, they're looking to not just buy, but they're also looking to watch. They're looking to be entertained. They're looking to play, and live stream gives them that opportunity to be entertained. And we all know that, you know, if you're a live streamer, the more engaged you are with your audiences, the more likely they're going to be adding it to cart. So we see that e-commerce is going to grow, and live stream is only going to accelerate in the coming months.
Awesome. Very interesting. Okay, we're going to dive into all of these topics. I want to bring our 2 panelists back up on stage. And while we wait for them, I see lots of questions are already streaming into the questions tab here. Just a reminder to everyone, please submit questions at any time, and then we will go through those at the end. So we could just bring back our other panelists, and we're all, for our audience's benefit, dialing in from all over the world and facing lots of our own logistical challenges. Hey, welcome back, June and Marlann. Okay, so I really would love to kind of bring this back to the business context. And June, as an entrepreneur and business owner, you talked a bit about, like, the use case and how you're using Livestream to solve some specific product kind of challenges that you had. But how has live streaming helped you grow your business?
For me, it helps a lot to grow the business, right? So I think it gives that seamless experience, not only the viewer, but also the seller. Like on the viewer side, right, they can watch the product that I'm mentioning during lives, they can access to more details, they can add to basket, they can collect the coupon and then purchase it while watching lives, which is other platform couldn't do that. And for me as a seller, it's require no human power to close the sale. So everything is on the platform, like the payment is on there. So I think it's very effective and very efficient for us to do. And after the lives, we can get back and then watch the performance via business advisor tool on Lazada Seller Center. I can see that which products the viewer are interested the most, which one generate the most sales, which coupon has the highest performance. So I think the data is everything, and it's very important for us for nowadays to look back and then adjust our business accordingly. Yeah, so it helps a lot for us.
Are there like specific live streaming features or product features that I think are, like you mentioned on your side as a seller, the data, the analytics, the ability to make payments? Are there things that for your customers or viewers that you know are important features for them?
Yeah, I think that's mainly tools that you can play with Last Live. I think first, it's very easy to set up, right? You just need only one mobile phone and to do. Then I can pre-create a coupon before the live, so customer can collect the coupon. And during live, and I can play the game with customer and then send them the special voucher that they can redeem after the lives. Yeah, so it's very easy and convenient for me.
Got it. Awesome. Well, can I maybe put you on the spot, and can you just maybe slip into character a little bit and show us just very briefly how you would actually talk about a product in a live stream? Because I think that really does bring it home for people.
Okay, so it's the same during live and this live, right? Non-stop. Okay, so if I'm doing live, right, I will like explain the content to customer. I always use live when I launch a new collection. For example, during the I did the live and I told customer the story of the collection. Like for example, this suit, right? It's inspired by the coffee concept, that coffee is the form of modern escapism. Like a girl in the office drink a coffee and she feels that she escaped into the summer holiday. And this kind of thing that I talk during live, and I say that, okay, this suit has a very special details. This button is like coffee bean texture, if you can see closer. And I use the tie, which always in here, which is the necktie, and play with the norm, change into this side and make it more like modern, like formal, doesn't have to be boring. And then I talk about the product and mix and match to the customer. So it's quite fun. Like I can talk to like 5 hours nonstop. So this kind of thing that I normally do.
That's awesome. You're a natural, and that's great to see from a business owner. And I know, Marlon, your understanding and use of live stream is a bit different than June, but you're also helping brands and sellers kind of meet their goals. Can you just talk a little bit about what that engagement with businesses looks like for you?
I believe that we help businesses by showing the audience how to properly use their products, because June has her own product to show, right? But we have other products from other brands to show people. And in a way, we acted as an ambassador in showing them why these products were a must-have. So it's very important to talk about things that you're knowledgeable about. You can't just talk and then you don't know what you're talking about. So we really have to research. And during quarantine season, here in the Philippines, Lazada got me to be a part of Quarantine TV, which Neil mentioned earlier, which includes Laz Cook, Laz Get Famous, Laz Cook, Laz Get Fit, Laz Home Projects, and Laz Learn, which I'm part of the Laz Learn. I taught about beauty, DIY makeup, skincare, etc. I also do some work as a makeup artist on the side. And during Laz Learn, I'd always talk about makeup techniques, as you can see. I love makeup to the point where I'd encourage them to, start your own business, be a makeup artist using products that I showed them. Also really helped me in my endeavor as a makeup artist. If being a makeup artist doesn't really interest them, and also let them know how else it would pay off. Because if you know how to do your own makeup, you can not only save money on a makeup artist, but also learn to do your makeup better than anyone else. Because let's face it, your face better than anyone. And I make honest reviews and insightful reviews on products. For example, when choosing foundation, for example, sorry for the guys out there. I don't know if you know these stuff, but it will depend on your skin type, what's your skin tone, your skin shade. It's technical, but it's my responsibility to discuss it in a way where they can easily understand and also be entertained in the process. Like, you need to have fun while doing it. And yeah, that's how I do it. We also have Last Talent. I think Neil mentioned that as well. It's an online reality show. Yeah, I love how I got to share everything that I have learned thus far throughout my journey in hosting and live streaming with the contestants. Yes.
Yeah, I love that you guys are investing the time and the energy to share your expertise and to kind of enable up and coming KOLs. So maybe let's talk a little bit about being an influencer and a KOL. I guess to some extent, and you mentioned being honest with your viewers, but your viewers obviously see you as someone that they can trust to make recommendations and to tell them, how to use a product properly and what products they should be considering. Also in collaboration with other products. So being that kind of curator type role. Can you just tell us a little bit about how you build trust with your audience over time and what that process should look like for other people that are thinking about live streaming?
Yes, having integrity as a KOL is crucial because you don't want your audience to lose their trust because they use something that you recommended and it's not good for them. Like, for example, it burned their face or something. That's gonna be like so scary for me. That's why you have to be sincere, research. Aside from sharing my knowledge about a specific topic and as I said earlier, discussing insightful reviews and recommendation, I try as much as possible to read their comments and ask them insightful questions, like what's your skin type, what's your age. I make the vibe, more relaxed as well, like you're talking to a friend. Thank them for spending time with me, because that, gains trust and relational feel. And thank them for being there and the importance of acknowledging their presence when they watch you again. And as I said about Last Talent earlier, to be honest, I'm so humble to be part of that because I saw the zeal of the contestants and hunger to do their best to win the competition. They would say they learned a lot from me, but to be honest, I learned a lot from them. I learned that when you're training aspiring talents, we should start with the basics. That's what I always teach people, or I want to encourage people. We have to learn the basics. That's why I love that Lazada provided weekly check-ins with the contestants and us as mentors, which Neil mentioned earlier, so that we can educate them on the basics first. So what works, what doesn't work. We also develop a relationship and a supportive culture throughout the entire competition. I'm so honored and blessed to be a part of it. I just, want to share it.
Oh, that's really nice of you. So you mentioned thanking your audience, acknowledging their presence and the time that they're spending. I was taking notes as you're talking because I think these are great tips. Making sure that you're honest and that you do the homework, that you know your products. Like you're putting in probably a lot more time than just the time on camera to make sure that you know these products really well. I think these are all really good tips. How do you keep someone, okay, so you've done all those things, you're set up, you have an audience that trusts you. Now you need to keep them engaged. And maybe you're on camera, it could be a couple hours, right? So how do you keep your audience kind of engaged in that conversation during a live streaming session?
I sing. I'm just kidding. I don't sing. But you know what? I use visuals because I'm a very visual person. Like showing them how to put the products on my face. I try not to just discuss things to show them, like really show them how you can put it on yourself. That's why they trust the products I share them with. It's because they see that it works, like in their own eyes. So yeah.
Well, Marlon, I won't ask you to change all your makeup, but can you show us like a little bit of like what that conversation might look like?
Oh, so for example, but first before that, I want to show you, as a beauty, influencer. I always use this one. I just want to share because this is a reflector so that I can be, glowing. Wow, glowing. And I also have three lights in front of me. I'll show you the other one. I got this from Lazada. This is like so cheap, but I have three of them because I want to be bougie like that, you know. But you don't need three, you just need one and you're fine. Look at this. Without the lights, look. And with lights.
A huge
A
difference.
lot of huge difference, right? So what I do is I always tell them we are Filipinas, Asian skin. Our undertone is typically yellow and undertone and olive. So now we know what to get. Like for example, with in terms of wow, magic. I'm just kidding. So in terms of foundation blush, you have to put your blush on a certain spot or a certain area of your face. Why? Because this adds as a negative shadow on your face, meaning it will deepen, it will add shape or depth to your skin or to your face. That's why you can put it, you know, just anywhere else. So I usually recommend putting it here and not really because other people put blush here, right? Don't put your blush there. You'll look older. It will sag. Your face will look, you know, it will look older. But if you put it here, it will actually add a little bit of lift to your face as if you had a facelift, but you didn't. It's magic. So you just do that and you're good to go. That's how I do it. You know, you just try to tell
Amazing.
them the technique, but in an entertaining way.
Wow. I'm blown away. I think that's really awesome. What a skill to have. June, do you, I know we talked a bit about you doing live streaming, but do KOLs and influencers play a role in helping you grow your business?
Yeah. To be honest, we haven't used the KOL during live before, but we are planning to because I think they have a fan base that like Marlann, they like listen to their recommendation and everything. So we're planning to use the KOL during our next collection launch. But the content would be like very real to customer, like how to match this one mix and match by that KOL and everything. Yeah.
Are there like real challenges, like just real talk here to other business owners that are listening? Like what are some of the challenges that you've faced as you explored live streaming for your business?
I think like first time of everything will always be hard, right? First time of life was hard for me, but second time was easier because I know how to set up the product. I know how to okay, I need to while I'm talking about this thing, I know I need to have some content. I need to keep customer exciting about what I'm talking. So I need to create a game. I do everything to I learn from the past experience to make it better for the next one. So I don't think it will be hard for anyone if I can do. If I can talk nonstop for an hour, you can do too, right? It's not that hard. It's not that stress. So I really encourage everyone to try it out because I think it will be a mainstream, like Neil said. Live is very important. It's the opportunity that you can talk to customer in real time, one to many customer, and I think it would be such an important tool for your business in the future.
What so the flip side, and I think you touched a little bit at the end there on this, is what do you enjoy most about live streaming?
I think it's the real-time engagement with the customers. Because when I just post the picture on Instagram, the best I can do is just put the caption, but there's no feeling into it. But with the last live, I can talk to the customer that actually follow me, the fan page of Keeps, then I can recommend them in real time, how to mix and match. If you have this shape, you should be wearing this one. It's the opportunity that I can engage and get the feedback from the customer, which I really enjoy. Yeah.
Got it. And Marlon, what about you? I mean, you gave us so many great tips on the logistics, the lighting, making sure that you're really prepared, you've done your homework. But what are some of the challenges, especially, I mean, we talked about you being a pioneer. Can you just talk us through some of the challenges that others might expect to go through themselves? Maybe that'll be a little bit easier for them.
I think other people have this misconception that live streaming is just for extrovert people. If you're just, you have a big personality. But you know what, guys, to be honest, I'm shy. I'm I'm very shy. Believe me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like if you're an introvert, this is a perfect platform for you as well because you don't have anyone looking at you. And I think you might think that it's gonna be hard to, just like what June said, to do a live for hours, but it's not. It's like you're talking to a friend. And I think those are some of the misconceptions that at first you might, feel a little bit of pressure, but then once you do it, you're gonna enjoy it for sure because I enjoy it so much.
Well, what
So
part
yeah.
of it do you personally find like the most satisfaction in?
Oh, it's the audience coming back and telling you that they used something and it worked for them, and now they recommend it to other people, and now they know you because you just recommended the product. I'm like, this is amazing. I love this. It's really the relationship between you and the audience, and you provide that means of help through the product that you're selling. Yes.
Got it. Neil, do you, and sorry, we focus on the ladies so much, but their stories are so
It
interesting.
was entertaining. I loved it.
Do you have any tips for aspiring live streamers, retailers among our audience today?
Yeah, so I mean, a few tips, right? So if you're a seller who would like to, start live stream, it's really just test it out, try it out for yourselves, right? On Lazada, on Lazada Seller Center, we have Lazada University modules, where actually there are videos that you can watch on how to set up your first live stream. How do you set up or configure the products and your vouchers? So all of that is available, and you can access it so that you can upskill yourselves. If you are a person who is extroverted or introverted like Marlann, and feel like you can be the next live stream star, you can actually sign up to Last Talent. So Last Talent allows anyone to become a live streamer. So how it works is actually you just have to do a 30-minute live stream every day for 7 days, and you get paid. And it's a great way for you to build your skills and get discovered, and hopefully become a face that brands and even sellers could actually hire as the next host. So simple tip: just get started, because this is a rapidly growing space, and now is the best time to sort of dive deep and learn.
That's awesome, Neil. Hey, I was just thinking, we didn't talk about this previously, but so maybe it's a little bit out of left field, but I was thinking about myself, like live streaming, and if I wanted to sell something. So I'm just imagining this like scenario where I'm a retailer, I want to start live streaming. I think my biggest fear would be that I go live and that there's like no one there. So what happens? Like, how does it actually, like if I'm a retailer, I have my products behind me, I'm all ready like June, and then I hit the go live button. What happens? How do people know that I'm there?
Yes. So on Lazada, on the homepage, there's a Last Live icon. So you can go there and you can scroll through all of the different live streams happening. It's very engaging, actually. Once you scroll down, you see a lot of videos going on. For certain brands also, if they have the opportunity to have like a mini pop-up on the homepage, where it promotes you, and more people sort of are aware that you're doing a live stream. I think another tip for sellers or even brands is you have to sort of tell people that you're doing a live stream. It also helps to tap your network, to let them know that you're doing your first live stream. Friends, family, please support me, watch my last live. But there are many ways on the platform itself to be discovered within the Last Live sort of homepage.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to move on to the future of live streaming in Southeast Asia in particular. Quick reminder to everyone, it looks like lots of questions are coming in, so I don't need to encourage you too much, it seems like, but if you have questions, now is a great time to put them in there because we'll be getting to Q&A soon. So Neil, you talked about live streaming sort of being pioneered, and certainly it's already a very big thing in China. You talked about, I think he's called Lipstick Brother, selling 100,000 sticks of lipstick. That's no joke. Like that is not, it's like funny to see, but that's a real business, right?
Yes.
So like, do you see the same kind of trends happening in Southeast Asia?
Yeah, so I think look, Southeast Asia, we're now emerging. So live stream for us is emerging. We're at this pace where it's now really accelerating as more and more sort of sellers or live streamers adopt into the technology and start doing a live stream. And I can honestly say that we're seeing, growth that we haven't seen before the COVID-19 period, whether it's in terms of sessions or the gross merchandise value that our live streamers are able to sell through their sessions. In Southeast Asia, we're at that sort of emerging, accelerating point. And hopefully someday soon, we'll get to selling 100,000 lipsticks in one session. But definitely, we're seeing the momentum starting right now.
I guess, given that we're on the cusp of that curve, and we think that that curve will happen, and I agree with you, and I think everyone at Technesia would agree as well, what are opportunities that you feel like are being left on the table by retailers?
Yep. So first, I think retailers, like many sort of new technology, I think that some brands and sellers may be a bit hesitant about starting, right? So they'd rather, dip their toe in the water and see and learn from others, or let others do it first. I think when it comes to e-commerce, you have to start now. And for many of the brands and retailers we're speaking to, we're telling them, you have to try your first live stream. You have to just get started. If you need help, you can talk to any of our experts in Lazada who can help you get started. If you need to partner with KOLs, we can even recommend KOLs like Marlann, who are great live streamers who can help you do your first session. So I think it's just about embracing that, this sort of technology and space in e-commerce is only going to accelerate. And they have to learn. They have to learn themselves. And as, like what June said, the more practice you have, the better you get at it. And you get to have the sort of repeatable model, essentially, for your brand and business, and how they can crack a winning live stream every time.
Awesome. June, you spoke about you have a new collection that you're working on.
Yeah.
What are the opportunities in live streaming in particular that you're getting excited about?
So this product, it's very secret, right? But I'm telling you, it's a new product line of Kings, which is the homeware, and we collaborate with the skincare brand. So within this live, we can exhibit the real use case to customer that, okay, you are at home, right, wearing a homeware that's super stylish, and then you use that product, the eye cream, the cream, and then mask, and then go to bed. Like this kind of the real use case. So customer will know that, okay, they need to buy this homeware, they need to buy this sleepwear, and then need to use it with the mask, the product that I collaborate with. So it's a real use case to customer. It's the content that will make them interested. Yeah, very excited to do this live. Yeah.
That sounds really exciting. Marlon, are you in your live streams? Is this something that you think is like a requirement for brands that are doing live streaming, or is it sort of a value add, or how should anyone listening today think about collaborations as a way to sort of add fuel to the fire?
Collaboration is a must for brands because people want to know why they're using a specific product, because there's a lot of products out there, and through live streaming you can educate people on how to properly use a specific product. And I always teach on my live streams that don't be clickbaited on the trend, because there's a lot of products out there. What I'm teaching you is what you have to get, because I actually try these products, and for sure that if there's a live streamer behind the camera trying to help you with a specific brand, I think it helps the brand as well, because they act as an ambassador to relay that voice to the audience. That's why it's very important for brands to tap into live streaming.
Got it. Neil, you spoke a little bit about Lazada working with the Elephant Nature Park in Thailand to provide and promote virtual tours to sell coffee from local farmers. Besides entertainment, lifestyle, which you've talked about a lot, consumer goods, are there other industries and verticals that should be tapping into live streaming? Oh no, I think maybe we lost Neil.
Neil!
Neil, no!
No, Neil, come on.
Okay, that's fine. Actually, I mean, Marlon, let me ask you. I mean, how are you?
Yes.
Can live streaming? I don't mean to put too much weight on it, but can it be used as a force for good?
Of course, because as Neil already told us earlier. Oh, hi, Neil. You're back. Yes, because we have Last for Good. I mean, you can always, I mean, as I'm an ambassador of, not just ambassador, my advocacy is beauty inside and out. So I talk about skincare, right? I talk about makeup and stuff. But on the other hand, inside and out, it's because I talk about my faith as well. I talk about valuing, like, like to put that together, to do live streaming for the good of others and the glory of God. That's why, because there's a lot of good live streamers out there, but what sets you apart is your heart to serve people through doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that
So,
also
yeah.
goes back to the great tips that you gave about just authenticity and just being yourself and who you truly are.
Yeah.
Neil, before we got cut off, I was mentioning about the work happening with Lazada Thailand in the Elephant Nature Park. And I know that Lazada is working on using live streams to promote kind of virtual tours, since people can't really travel right now, and also even maybe more meaningful to the local population there is selling coffee from local farmers. Are there things that other industries, or are there other industries besides beauty, retail, fashion, that should be thinking about live streaming more than they probably are today?
Yeah, I think, Andrew, a live stream, anyone can, or any vertical or industry can do a live stream. I'll give you an example before COVID-19 happened. We sell sort of experiences as well. You can sell a voucher of an experience. And one of the most unique live streams I've ever watched was we were selling a helicopter ride. So you could get buy a voucher for a helicopter ride on Lazada. And the live stream was done in the air, right? Demoing what the experience could be. So I think the old live stream really allows sort of marketers and business owners to be very creative, right? Because whatever product you have, as long as you understand what your audience is looking for, you're insightful and you have your creativity, any sort of vertical or industry can benefit from the buy now or experience now sort of technology of live stream, whether that is, elephant rides or promoting tourism, buying, fashion, or even, helicopter rides, sort of anything goes in this live stream world.
Wow, helicopters. Okay. I'm gonna have to save up my money for that one, but that's exciting. Thank you so much to our panelists, Marlon and June, and Neil, for all of these insights. I really have learned a lot. It looks like our audience has too. They've put in a number of questions, so we're gonna go to those. So this is your last chance. Get some questions in if you're watching. Now is the time. While everyone's doing that, I wanted to just quickly tell our audience about the Technesia Conference 2020. Our flagship annual tech conference will be held this year, October 19th to the 22nd. The theme this year will be Southeast Asia's Golden Decade, 2021 and beyond. We're really exploring Asia's tech potential and how pandemic disruptions have actually aligned to create a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for startups and entrepreneurs. You can find the full agenda and you can buy tickets if you'd like at conference.techinasia.com. And I think our team will post a link to that as well. So thank you again. We're going to jump over to Q&A. And let me just pull up the first question here from Kevin Chan. Which product categories do well with live streaming, and what are the best times of day or evening to live stream? I think maybe Neil or Marlon.
Yeah. So which product categories do well? I think, categories like cosmetics, makeup, fashion tend to do very well because people are naturally wanting to learn more. But actually across FMC and electronics is another category that really does well, especially when you're able to go into a lot of the sort of the tech details. But like I said earlier, it's not just the product, it's also, the story you want to tell, right? And then I think that's an important point is no matter what product you have or category, if you have an interesting story to tell and you have an engaging way to tell it on a live stream, then you should definitely do it. In terms of when's the best time to watch a live stream, what we've seen in the COVID-19 period, at least in the Philippines, is more and more people are watching live streams before lunch and after lunch, and also around 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I think that as more people are stuck at home, perhaps or working from home, they're looking for an escape, a shopping escape where they can watch a live stream and add to cart. So that's the findings that we're seeing.
Makes sense. Marlon, I mean, you have experience in TV. Would you say it kind of aligns with maybe primetime television spots? Is it similar?
Yes, because here in the Philippines, there's a lot of reruns because we can't really shoot outside. That's why Korean TV is like, thank you Lazada, because everybody now has like a thing to do or two, and they're not as bored, and they're learning because just like my segment, it's Laz Learn. Like they're actually learning while being entertained. So it's a win-win for us and them.
I still love that name, Korean TV. It's very brilliant.
Right?
Okay, so our next question comes from Rashi Tayagi. I hope I pronounced that right. What is Lazada doing to support the development of KOLs and bringing brands and KOLs together? Neil, I think that's for you.
Yes. So a few things for what Lazada is doing, right? So one of it, like I mentioned earlier, is Laz Get Famous. We want to incubate the next generation of live stream stars, right? Like any platform, we need to groom the next generation of Marlans in the country. So that's something that we're doing. The other thing that we're doing is for any brands that want to do their live stream, they can easily speak to any of, they can speak to the Lazada account manager or anyone in Lazada to be able to match them together with, match brands and sort of KOLs together. I'll give you an example. The recent Laz Get Famous talent show that we had, one of the sort of prizes that the 5 winners will get is a 1-year contract with Lazada to do live stream. And they're also now discoverable. So imagine there's like a menu where if a brand wants to tap you, they can add you to cart. I'm sorry, that's a bad analogy, but they can add a KOL to cart and then sort of work with them on their next live stream session. So there's many different ways. If brands are interested, they can reach out to any of the Lazada counterparts.
Oh, got it. June, I want to ask you, this is a question from Ben Tan. Can you share with us your most awkward moment during a live stream? Have you had any awkward moments?
Oh, there were so many awkward moments. Let me think of the most awkward moment. I think for me, it's maybe because I'm doing live, right? Customer can change their name, and then they change it to like super hard name. But then I need to like pronounce the name. I need to like acknowledge them that she's watching. So it's like pronouncing like very random Thai Vietnam to customer, and I feel like I'm not sure whether I'm pronouncing it right, but thank you for watching me. So this kind of thing happens all the time. There's so many awkward moments, but yeah, but it's fun.
I fall into the same trap all the time. I'm constantly mispronouncing people's names, and I've probably done it here in Q&A a few times as well. So I always apologize. So we have another question. This could be for June or Marlon. Live streaming is now arguably found across multiple e-commerce platforms. I think we can find it in many places. I'm just curious, and maybe we'll start with you, Marlon. Like, why did you choose Lazada, and what made you sort of stick around with Lazada?
I think Lazada is the biggest in the country. Why wouldn't you want to work with the, biggest e-commerce in the Philippines? But at the same time, I love working with them. The people there are so nice. Hi, Neil. Thank you for being so nice to me. Thank you. And I think it's actually an opportunity for me. Like, thank you guys for getting me. Because it's really an opportunity to work with them because they're one of the biggest or even the biggest in the Philippines.
Got it. What about you, June? Like, why did you choose to go with Lazada?
Quite a similar answer with Marlon. For me, in Thailand, Lazada is very like the biggest e-commerce platform, and I think that I want to stick with one platform because I think at the end of the day, the customer base are the same. Just they need to switch between 2 apps. But what if I can stay with one application and then I am like the top performer of it? So maybe I can do more. Maybe I can collaborate or do some like special project with Lazada. And I think Last Live has the tool that you can do everything within the live. Like I tried other platform before, like Facebook, Instagram, but it's not so inconvenient as like in Lazada. Yeah, so why not, right?
Yeah, why not? Got it. No, that's great. That's really, really insightful. So Justin Chow wants to know, Marlon, Have you considered parlaying your popularity into a brand and starting your own line of products?
Why not? No, just kidding. That's so intimidating. That's so intimidating to think about. But you know what? Why not? Just like what June said. No, at some point I think, but for now, because there's a lot of products, like especially cosmetics, right? So I'm gonna pray for it. Thanks for
I don't know the
that.
investment challenge, but if you're an investor, get in touch with Marlon. Okay, so
You.
we have a question, another question from Melissa Esquera. It's a question for Neil. Localization is key in order to resonate with audiences across Southeast Asia. Does Lazada have a specific approach when it comes to choosing KOLs for live streams? Or is that a decision that the brands make themselves? And what do you look for in those KOLs when you're making those kind of localization decisions?
Yeah, so absolutely. It's so important to sort of tailor fit your content and make sure that the KOLs that you work with are the best fit to represent your brand, right, or your category. So two things that we do. If I'm speaking as Lazada, we work with numerous KOLs. We really look at sort of different backgrounds, KOLs with different sort of affinities. There are some KOLs that are very well associated to lifestyle. There are some KOLs very much associated to tech, because KOLs also bring a lot of expertise, right, in their particular area or sphere of influence. So we really look at sort of experts or influencers who are well known in different sort of categories or verticals, and we approach them to say that, would you like to work with us in doing live streams, whether it's for Lazada or whether it's for brands. So that's what you look for. You look for authenticity, you look for sort of category or sort of expertise, and of course hosts who are able to think on their feet. And I think that's important, right? Like what Marlon said, live streams are only, can only be scripted to a certain point, because many things sort of happen spontaneously. And I think, hosts need to be flexible to be able to adapt to anything in a live session.
Yeah, certainly. We experience that ourselves.
Yes.
June, I want to touch, we talked a lot about how live stream has impacted your business, but Vera Mao has a question about how has live streaming, or how has Lazada helped you scale your business outside of purely live streaming, like in other ways, given that, especially because live streaming can be a pretty crowded marketplace?
So I think one thing that I absolutely get from Lazada is that Lazada has a ton of users. So given that like you have your own user, but if you can like access to Lazada, it's like over a million of users, and apply the same % of conversion rate, meaning you'll get more sales. So it's helped growing business through the Lazada fan base. And I think Lazada has many like partnership opportunity, like for example with the credit card, with the voucher, the mega campaign, that there's so many traffic driving in. So from the like small SME, you can grow a lot with Lazada, especially during campaign. And I think there's also other like tools that support your business. For example, Lazada Center, there's so many tools in there. Like you can watch the review of the product, which product customer like, because of why, what you need to adjust and everything. I think it's very important tools. You can go back and look at the data, look at the statistic, and then adjust your plan, adjust your business accordingly. So I think I seriously like grow a lot because of Lazada.
Got it. Well, it's like a perfect transition to the next question. And we have so many questions. I'm just going to keep going until someone tells me to stop. But Neil, can you just, and June just touched on this a little bit, but Christine Toe asks if you can briefly share the types of analytics that are measured on live stream.
Yes. So I can start. So what you can measure in live stream are first your views or your unique views, how many people actually watched your session. The other one that you can see are what we call PDP, or product display page clicks. So how many people actually clicked on a product that appears on the live stream and saw the product page. You can also sort of see the average sort of duration that someone watched your live stream. So those are some of the views that we can see. June, would you like to share what other sort of analytics you look for?
Yeah, and during live, I normally generate the special voucher, especially for the people that watching my live, right? So with the analytic tools, you can see that how many voucher have been collected during live, how many voucher have been redeemed, so you will know your ROI, your return on investment during each live. Yeah, I think this like very important for me.
Got it. Okay, Marlon, question for you from another name I'll pronounce wrong, but Tiawan Guantara. I apologize to you. Do you think live streaming is an effective way to convert offline sales to online?
Yes, because I always tell people that if you love watching videos to learn something, right? Like for example, YouTube. The thing about YouTube is that the presenter or the person, the vlogger, they can't comment on you in real time. And that's what I love about Last Live is that the audience can ask you, and if you have a certain product to show them, they can just add to cart, and that's it, all in one app. That's why I think it's a must. It's a must for people to really take advantage of this type of technology. Because if you're just going online, sometimes because you're busy, just go to a platform where you can do it all and not really think of like, oh, what am I doing? Where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna buy this? Like you can just get it, all of it, and ask questions in real time. So
awesome. Okay, I'm not sure who to ask this question. I think you all might have opinions on this, but Melissa asks, what do you foresee to be upcoming trends in live streaming? And I think her question is specifically, are there new technologies that you believe can enhance the experience? So maybe things like AI or 5G or augmented reality or other sort of like really advanced technology. And are there trends in terms of the industry moving towards KOLs or away from KOLs? Like just any kind of general trends you see for the future of live streaming?
Okay, so I can take a stab at that first.
Okay.
So I think one thing that we have been doing is experimenting with different ways to drive engagement within a live stream. So for instance, it's merging a gamification within live stream. So one thing we've been doing for some bar shows on Lazada is something called Balloon Blast. So imagine you're watching a sort of singing show and the host goes, pop the balloons. So balloons start appearing on your phone and you can interact, tap, collect vouchers. So these are different ways to gamify the experience within the live stream. And we're constantly on the lookout for developing new ways, because we see that the more sort of engagement tools you have, like collect the voucher, add to cart, pop a balloon, comment to the host, it drives stickiness. Yeah, and it gets people to watch longer. It also gives people a reason to watch over and over. So that's what we imagine doing. And of course, new technologies will continue to adapt and explore. So who knows what could be doing next, or what our product team is doing in the background as innovations.
Awesome. What about June or Marlon? Are you seeing like new technologies or innovation creeping into live streaming that you're excited about?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it's the real-time commenting on the live streamer, but at the same time, you can add to cart and buy all of the things that they're showing you in real time. And since everyone's going digital now, like shopping, right, watching a movie or socializing, I know it's fun and entertaining, but at the same time in Lazada, you're providing content that they can really learn from, and at the same time if you're a live streamer, you can provide for your family at the comfort of your own home. Like that's why I think Lazada and an online platform is very vital nowadays in the pandemic, because it's not safe to go outside and get makeup. Like why would you risk your life for makeup? That's why Lazada's there to accommodate that and help you with that.
Yeah. Kenny asks a really important question, which is for both June and Marlon. When is your next live stream? Or if it's not scheduled, where can they follow you and find out about it? Because I think Kenny, I'm assuming, I'm not assuming, he says, I would like to watch. So where can they watch? I think it's great to learn from experts like you. June, how about you? When is your next live stream? Or if it's not scheduled, how can people find out about it?
My next live stream would be at around the end of this month, would be around 26 via Lazada app, right? But you can always go back and watch my period live session. I think there were like 3 or 4 in the apps as well. If you search the Keeps design store name, and there will be a tab to watch the live in history. You can go and watch. I'm talking. and,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you can follow me via Instagram and Lazada and everything. Yeah.
great.
Just
So Kenny, go search for Keeps Design in the Lazada app, and you can watch June's previous live streams. Sign up for notifications. What about you, Marlon? When are you going live again?
Yes, I actually did a lot of live streams with Lazada. I had like 20 live streams there, so they can just check it out. It's under LazLearn. I did a lot of like different, techniques. But if they want, if I have another live stream to come, they can follow me on my socials. My Instagram is at Marlann Flores, just double N, Marlann Flores. And I also have a YouTube channel where I teach makeup and, beauty inside and out. Follow me, Marlon Flores. If you can just type Marlon Flores and everything will pop up. But yeah, follow me on Lazada app, please. Thank you.
Awesome. What about you, Neil? Neil, do you live stream?
No, I haven't yet developed the courage to start my first live stream. I think I need tips from June and Marlan.
Well, hopefully today maybe has encouraged you to do so. I have a question though. That Anissa asked. Do you think live streaming, and Neil, I think this is applicable to your background as well, but do you think live streaming would do well with B2B?
Yes. So I'll give you an example. Food service brands have been very active on Lazada, especially before COVID-19, right? So it was a way for them to sort of educate on using sort of different products and ways to use sort of for scaling up recipes. So that's an example of, food service doing, demo shows, cooking shows on LazLive. So I think, again, with regards to the platform, it's very versatile. So as long as there's a unique way to be able to communicate the product's benefits and customize it based on what the particular buyer or business buyer would be for that, there's an opportunity. Yeah, so we're seeing that across different industries during this time.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into this with my team. So Ben Tan asks a question. In the Philippines, and I think this really applies to most of Southeast Asia, internet connectivity is not that reliable or stable. I can say it's the same here in Singapore, especially in our office. Is this a challenge for live streaming in these emerging markets?
Yeah, so I think a lot could be said about the internet connectivity in the Philippines. I will not get into that in the session, but I think in terms of live stream, it's not that difficult or it's not that heavy to be able to watch it. We've also had several partnerships actually with some of the telcos here, where you can buy a plan and you can get free sort of minutes to check out Lazada. So I think this entire sort of e-commerce internet industry in the Philippines are finding ways to help each other, right? In terms of being able to give access. So yeah, so I think it's improving, or hopefully it will improve. But definitely we have partnerships in this space to help drive adoption of getting people onto the platform and watching a live stream.
Got it. Okay, I'm going to ask a question about duration. There's 2 questions here. One from Anina Net, who wants to know, how do you talk about a product for 3 hours? Which I think is a fair question. But Yvonne Huang also asked, what's the recommended duration for a live stream for a brand? Like, is it better to do a very long, like full day thing, or stick to an hour or 3 hours? Or so maybe, Marlon, I think maybe you would be best placed to answer this one.
Yes, I learned that nowadays, because of social media, our span in like attention is very fast. So I think an hour is a perfect time for you to talk about a brand. It's not so long, it's not so short. You have time to really reiterate what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to let them know. So I think an hour is a good time to start. 3 hours, I'm not sure if I can do 3 hours. Like, how am I gonna eat? I love food, so Sorry.
June, we might have mentioned this previously, but how long are your live streams typically?
Yeah, and an hour long.
An hour.
I think it would be the perfect time for customer. I think I did it once for 3 hours and I completely lost my voice. Like after I think it's too long for customer to watch and too long for me to talk as well. So I think 1 hour would be a perfect time for customer to ask question and you answer, and the content would be enough to customer. Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted maybe to add on to this, Andrew, because the trend in many other platforms is shorter, right? I mean, they tell you, make your video as short as possible because people don't have the attention or the bandwidth. It's the exact opposite in a live stream, right? And it goes sort of against many of the principles that other platforms are saying, because I guess the format is much more immersive. Right? You're not just watching passively. You're leaning in. You're watching. You're collecting. You're adding to cart. You're waiting for a voucher from June. So it runs counter to a lot of things that many marketers or brands may have been taught. And I think that's what makes it exciting. It's a format. It's a channel that makes it very versatile, and it's a way for you to talk in depth about your product. And I guess the challenge is always to the brand or seller to keep it entertaining or engaging, right? It's not just about a talking head, do a demo, show your product, send out a voucher. It's a very ripe platform to innovate and get people to watch for a longer duration of time.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Yeah, I think we've seen similar trends in kind of bucking the general wisdom that shorter is better in places like podcasting, where long formats do really well, especially when it's tied to like something that a topic someone's passionate about or a personality that people care a lot about. So I could see the analogy here as well. Following on to that, Charmaine Tan asks, are there constraints related to live streaming? And she gave an example. I'm not sure I totally follow, but it says it's time fixed as opposed to being on demand. But I think that the live stream can turn into an on-demand asset after it's completed. As June told us, you can go and watch her live streams. Are there other constraints related to live streaming that people should just be aware of?
Good question.
Constraints. What an interesting question.
Yeah. So I think on that point,
Yeah.
you're right. You can actually watch it on demand. So after a live stream's done, you can go back to the Live homepage and look for the live stream that you want to watch again. So I think that's the beauty of it, right? Obviously, because it's being live streamed, there's so much engagement, but you can always sort of revisit it or relive it by going back. I think with regards to constraints, nothing really comes, to the top of my head at the moment, Andrew.
Yeah, I guess maybe I could chime in on Charmaine's question a bit. I think that any marketing activity for a brand, and I'm sure Neil, as a CMO, you would agree, is typically part of a broader mix of reaching your audience the right time, the right place. And live streaming can play a critical, even like central role in that. But there are probably other things that you can do as well to support kind of your brand message and making sure that you're connecting with your audience in different ways. So I wouldn't I would assume that you all agree live streaming isn't like the end all be all answer to everything, like shut down all your other media and only do live stream. It's a component, right? It's part of, and it can be a central important component.
Yeah, it's part of the overall media mix, right? And then I think as the entire sort of consumer journey online is so much more fragmented, and there's different sources of influence. And I think live stream is one of a marketer's suite of different sort of channels and solutions to be able to target and connect with their audience. And I think it belongs in a broader sort of media mix, right? So definitely our request to brands and sellers is consider live stream as an addition to your existing media mix today and experiment with it, right? Because it's one channel to be able to drive engagement. It's not the only, but it is one of the channels. But I guess the unique thing about it, unlike other channels in your media mix, is it's the only channel where you can actually get your consumers to buy right away. And I think that's a unique thing about it and why it's worthy to be part of the marketer's arsenal today.
unique and really powerful, especially for our audience here who are, I think, mostly retailers looking to sell things. So that's important that you can actually buy things. We asked June and Marlon earlier why they chose to go with Lazada, and they gave us some great reasons for that make a lot of sense for their markets. Neil, from your perspective, live streaming is becoming really competitive among platforms. On the Lazada side, like from your point of view, what are you doing to kind of stand out from the crowd?
Yeah, so I think yes, there's live stream available across different platforms and different types of channels. But I think it also goes back to what makes it unique is that it's a closed loop system, right? So it's the only platform where as you're watching, you can see now and buy now. And I think that's the beauty and differentiator of a platform like Laz Live, is because we are one of the pioneers. We're the first to launch in this region. And part of being the first to launch is there's so much more insights and development that we've learned throughout this journey, and that's allowed us to optimize the channel. It's allowed us to drive improvements, think of new ways to innovate, to drive engagement, like I mentioned earlier about popping a balloon to get a voucher and many other innovations in that stream. So I think again, what makes us unique is we're the only platform with a closed loop system. We pioneered see now, buy now. And we continue to learn every day through the experiences of our KOLs, our brands, and our sellers. And we're always, listening to that feedback to try to improve. And there are many more up our sleeve, and we'd love for you guys to watch out for it.
That's awesome. I guess on the similar vein on kind of what's up your sleeve and what's coming. You mentioned food service earlier. I am an aspiring home chef. I cook all the time and love cooking. So I watch a lot of cooking online. Are you seeing trends in chefs, whether professional chefs or home chefs, doing live streaming to sell either food products or maybe kitchen products?
Yeah. So we're seeing one of the most watched sort of content during quarantine TV is sort of Let's Cook. So we had KOLs cooking from home. We've also seen, interestingly on the platform, bakeware and kitchen equipment have grown rapidly, right? Sales are growing because there's more sort of home chefs and home bakers at home. So yes, this is a space that we're seeing is growing. Another thing that might be interesting is, in the Philippines, we've onboarded Lazada Fresh sellers. So if you're selling vegetables, you can also now do live stream, right? So we're seeing that as well. So some vegetable sellers are doing live stream shows, cooking demos, and it just shows you the versatility of the platform. So as long as it's sold on the platform, you can do a live stream show, including home cooks and aspiring chefs like yourself.
And that question was from Julian Song. I apologize, Julian, for making it all about me. But shout out to Julian. Thanks for asking that question. I'm curious. So June, you're in Bangkok. Marlon, you're in Manila. Are your audiences limited to your local markets, or do you stream to international audiences or regional audiences, or how do you think about that? Maybe Marlon, we start with you.
Yeah, I think mine is local. I mean, hopefully we can go international, but what's nice about staying local for now. It's because you're trying to tap the market and see what's what. Like you're seeing, oh, this is what works, and this really doesn't work as much. But yeah, for now, we're tapping locally.
Yeah. Same for me. My audience is not only in Bangkok but countrywide, because I can see the address of the customer after the live. So if they purchase, then I can see the shipping address, which is not only in Bangkok, right? And also in the south, the north, right? Yeah, but I'm trying to focus on within the Thai country.
Okay, and that question was from Christine To. Thank you, Christine. And June, I have a question on language. Do you do all of your live streams in English, or are you also doing them in Thai?
In Thai only.
In Thai only.
In Thai only.
That makes sense. Most of your audience is in Thailand, so you're speaking to them directly. That totally makes sense. Marlon, what do you recommend? I mean, the Philippines is widely speaks English, but also Tagalog and Ilocano and other languages. So, what do you think?
Taglish is a good mix.
Yeah.
Because there's other people that are they really speak English well, but then there's other masses that they just know how to speak Tagalog, but they I think understand a little bit English. That's why I do Taglish all the time.
I think for anyone in
Alam mo,
Singapore
Ilocano.
is a good alternative. Yeah, that's great, Taglish. That's what we speak at home too. Okay, so I think we've just about run out of time, and I thought these were such great questions from our audience and really incredible insights from all three of you. And I just can't thank you enough for your time and sharing your knowledge and your experience so generously with us.
Thank you.
so
It's a
much,
pleasure.
Andrew.
Andrew.
Thank you so
Happy to
much.
be here.
And so I think we've already shared with our audience where they can go to follow you, obviously on Lazada, and look for Laz Live, look up your brands and your names. And I hope that they do that. Before we go, I just want to say, if you enjoyed this event and you want to support quality journalism and content in Asia, I would ask and urge you to please consider subscribing to Tech in Asia. You can trial our premium subscription for just $1 for the next 30 days using the link that'll be posted in the chat here. Thank you again for everyone joining us. Rethinking Retail. We're leaving you now with a really cool video. Please stick around and watch. It's a Laz Live video that gives you a sneak peek into the entire ecosystem of live streaming e-commerce. So please stick around for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the e-commerce part, live streaming has got many advantages. Like through the live streaming, people can know the product well, can see the products, and can know how to use it.
การทำไลฟ์เนี่ยมันจะเป็นอะไรที่เรียลไทม์เป็นแบบสดๆตอนนั้นเลยซึ่งเบย์มองว่ามันจะทำให้ลูกค้าเนี่ยมีความมั่นใจในการเลือกซื้อได้มากขึ้น
การทำไลฟ์สตรีมมิ่งค่ะมันคือเรียลไทม์มันเลยเหมาะกับการขายมากๆเพราะว่าคุณจะได้คุยกับลูกค้าคุณจะได้เห็นคอมเมนต์ของลูกค้าแบบเรียลไทม์